Hello everyone, welcome to Tisha's tutorials. So today I am here with the part 3 of class 8 chapter 2, that is microorganisms, friend or the foe. If you haven't watched the part 1 and part 2 of the chapter, you can watch it from the links present in the description box below. Let us first start with few agricultural uses of microorganisms. Blue-green algae and bacteria like rhizome that live in the root nodules of leguminous plants like pea and soybean help in fixing atmospheric nitrogen and increase the soil fertility. This nitrogen fixing is called as nitrogen fixation. It is the process by which free atmospheric nitrogen is converted into nitrogenous compound. This is done with the help of the nitrogen cycle. It is a natural cyclic process in which atmospheric nitrogen enters the soil and becomes a part of living organisms before returning to the atmosphere. Whatever you get from nature, you always have to return it back. So, in nature, the nitrogen is fixed during lightning or by nitrogen fixing bacteria, that is blue-green algae. Leguminous plants such as pea and soybean have nitrogen fixing bacteria inside the root nodules. The nitrogen is fixed by these bacteria is taken up by plant and stored in their tissues as plant proteins. The stored nitrogen passes from these leguminous plants to herbivorous and then to carnivorous animals. When these plants and animals die, the nitrogen compounds present in their bodies are decomposed and returned back to the soil. These nitrogen compounds are nitrates and nitrites. Some of these compounds are again absorbed by plants, while few of them are returned back to the atmosphere with the help of certain bacteria which are present in the soil. The cycling of nitrogen between the atmosphere, soil, and organisms is what we call it as nitrogen cycle. So the process is very simple. From atmospheric nitrogen, which is present the nitrogen which is present abundant in the abundant quantity in the atmosphere, is fixed by lightning in nature and with the help of various nitrogen fixing bacteria which are present in root nodules of various leguminous plants. The nitrogen is converted into nitrates and nitrites in the soil. Few of them is absorbed by the plants and rest is released back as nitrogen with the help of certain bacteria present in the soil into atmospheric nitrogen. This process is called as nitrogen cycle. Let us see how are microorganisms harmful to us. Till now we saw the various uses of microbe. Now let us see some harmful effects of microbes. Microorganisms as a foe. There are certain microorganisms which are harmful to us. Harmful effects of microorganisms can be divided into the following two categories. 1. Causing diseases in human beings, animals and plants, and food spoilage. We will see one by one. We will see both of them one by one. Disease causing microorganisms are called as pathogens or germs. Diseases in human beings. There are various ways in which pathogens enter the human body. They are through air, through animals or insects, through water and through food. Diseases in human beings through air. Pathogens can spread from infected person to healthy one via air. For example, if a person is suffering from common cold and he or she sneezes, the pathogens are released into the air. These may enter the body of an healthy person while breathing and he may she also get the common cold. This is an example through which pathogens are spread through air. Diseases in human beings through animals or insects. You have heard about the various diseases like malaria and dengue caused by mosquito bite. Pathogens can spread from healthy person to an infected from an infected person to an healthy one through insects such as Anopheles and Aedes mosquitoes and the housefly as well. For example, when a female Anopheles mosquitoes bite a person suffering from malaria, it sucks the pathogens along with the blood. When the same mosquito bites a healthy person, The pathogens may enter his or her body and the person may get infected with malaria. Similarly, when a housefly sits on garbage, pathogens may stick to its body. The same fly may transmit these pathogens to food items when it sits on them. And that is why it is always recommended to keep the food covered and avoid eating uncovered food. Insects which transmit pathogens from an infected person to healthy one are known as carriers of diseases. Diseases that spread from person to person are called as communicable diseases. Here is the list of few diseases, the mode of transmission, what is the causative pathogen, and the preventive measures as well. This is just for your information. I don't think the questions can come from here in your exam question paper. Malaria. Bite. It is caused by bite of female Anopheles mosquito. Causative pathogen is Plasmodium, which is a protozoa. Preventive measures are not allowing mosquitoes to thrive in the locality. You cannot completely stop mosquitoes from entering the locality, but you can use mosquito nets and various mosquito repellents available in the market to prevent yourself to get infected with malaria. Cholera. The mode of transmission is contaminated food and water. Causative pathogen is bacteria or bacterium. Maintaining proper sanitization practices, boiling water before drinking, avoiding eating uncovered food are some preventive measures. Typhoid. Mode of transmission, contaminated food. Causative pathogen, bacterium. Preventive measures is maintaining proper sanitization practices, avoiding uncovered and unclean food. Tuberculosis. Mode of transmission, air. This is an airborne disease. Diseases caused by air are called airborne. Diseases caused by water are called as waterborne diseases. Causative pathogen for tuberculosis is bacterium and preventive measures is vaccination. The vaccination for tuberculosis is available for children. Ringworm. This is a fungal infection and the healthy person can get infected with ringworm when he or she is in the direct contact with the infected person. Definitely it is caused by fungus because it is a fungal infection. The preventive measures you can take is maintain good hygiene. Do not share personal items like towels and combs with the infected person. Common cold is an airborne disease. Causative pathogen is virus. Washing hands regularly, avoiding close contact with people having common cold are few preventive measures. Poliomyelitis. Mode of transmission can be air as well as water. The causative pathogen is virus and the preventive measure is vaccination. Chickenpox. Air, physical contact with the infected person. Causative pathogen is virus and the only preventive measure you can take here is get yourself vaccinated for it. Now, till now we saw various diseases caused by various ways in human beings. Let us see few diseases in animals. So, foot and mouth disease is very commonly seen in cattle. This is caused using contact with diseased animals as well as it is transmitted by air. Causative pathogen is virus. Rinderpest is again seen in cattle. It is transmitted with the contact with diseased animals, drinking contaminated water and also by air. Causative pathogen is again virus. Anthrax. It is again seen in cattle. Mode of transmission is grazing. Causative pathogen is bacterium. Fin rot. It is fin rot. It itself telling rotting of fins, and fishes are the only organisms which have fins, right? So for the mode of transmission is dirty water or the injury. The causative pathogen is bacterium or fungus. The rotting of fins of the fishes is called as fin rot. Let us see a few diseases in plants as well. I have tried to explain with the image so that you will get a clear idea of the disease. This is an image of orange which is not ripened yet. and is the tree in itself. It is in the tree till now. You can see it has started rotting. You can see some brownish color spots on the fruit. This disease is called as citrus canker and occurs generally in the citrus fruits, maybe oranges or lemons. Causative mode of transmission is air and the pathogen is bacteria. Apple scab, the name says itself, this disease is seen in apple. The apples are halfway ripened and they start rotting. This disease is called as apple scab. Mode of transmission is air and the causative pathogen is fungus. Loose mud is generally seen in crops like wheat. Mode of transmission is air and the causative pathogen is fungus. Rust of wheat. The mode of transmission is air. Causative pathogen is fungus. Here you can see some brown spots on the leaf of various crops. This is what looking like something is rusted, and that is why the name of the disease is rust of wheat, because it's looking like something is rusted. Food spoilage. Let us see what are the various ways to prevent the food spoilage and how the food is spoiled. Microorganisms like fungi and bacteria are responsible for food spoilage of various foodstuffs including bread. Main conditions which are required for microorganisms are moderately warm temperature and moisture. You must have noticed the food getting spoiled too quick in summers. Wherever you keep something outside the refrigerator, the normal temperature is comparatively high during summers and your food starts spoiling soon. That is why we keep the food in refrigerator. Microorganisms produce various poisonous substances which make food unfit for consumption. Eating such foodstuffs can definitely cause food poisoning. Here are the various ways to detect that food has become unfit for consumption. Foul odor, slimy surface or cotton-like growth in the surface. You must have seen cotton-like white growth on the bread. Surface discoloration, seen generally in fruits like oranges. Sour taste, gas formation are few ways through which we can detect that food is become unfit for consumption. Food preservation. It is the process of treating and handling food with an aim to stop or slow down its spoilage while maintaining its nutritional value, texture and flavor. Food preservation methods either kills the microbe completely or prevent their growth. Common methods of food preservation are as follows. Boiling. Boiling liquid food items can kill any existing microbes. Milk and water are boiled to kill any harmful microbes that may be present in them. Dehydration. Dehydration involves removal of water, one of the key requirements for microbial growth, from food items. Food items such as cereals and pulses are generally dried under the sun to remove the moisture present in them before packing. Refrigeration and freezing. Refrigerating at low temperature and freezing helps to preserve food for longer time, because microbes like bacteria and fungi cannot thrive at low temperature. They cannot live at very low temperature. When fresh fruits and vegetables are frozen, water present in them also freezes. This helps in preventing microbial reproduction. Food items that can be preserved by freezing include meat and vegetables. Canning. Storing food items in airtight cans is an effective way of preserving them. Food items such as jams, vegetables, fish, and even uncooked food are canned and sold in the market. Using chemical preservatives. Any substance that helps to preserve food or any other item is known as preservative. Many chemicals help control microbial growth and are used as preservatives. Examples of chemical preservatives are sodium benzoate, potassium metabisulfite. These preservatives are used in squashes, sherbets, and ketchups. Using salt, sugar, oil, or vinegar. Salt, sugar, oil, and vinegar create an environment that prevents microbial growth and therefore are used for preserving foodstuffs like meat, pickle, jams, jellies, and vegetables. In addition to preserving foodstuffs, these also impart flavor in the food. Pasteurization. Pasteurization involves heating a foodstuff to high temperature and then cooling it rapidly. This helps in destroying harmful microbes without changing the composition, flavor, or nutritive value of the foodstuff. This process is named after French chemist Louis Pasteur, who discovered it in the 19th century. Commercially available milk is first heated to high temperature for about half a minute and then cooled rapidly. It is then stored at temperatures lower than 10 degrees Celsius. Wow, we have completed the chapter. So I thank you guys for watching the video till end. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Do like my FB page and yes, also follow me on Instagram. The link is in the description box.